Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Messi and Co. I'm Ashley, here as always with my incredible co-host Gian. Happy Tuesday! Especially happy because it means we had an Inter Miami win over the weekend. But as always, how you doing, Gian?
I am doing awesome, awesome, awesome. Inter Miami win. So that makes me happy, makes my Monday even better. And the weather's been nice here in Miami. And we still have a new stadium that I am looking forward to going to. I actually went to go visit it, but I haven't been to a game
Really?
yet. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Okay, so this is cool. We went to go tour the stadium because I was thinking about they're still selling season ticket packages, and I was thinking about getting one for my wife and for my mother-in-law so that they can go when we're at the stadium doing the press stuff and all that, right? And we're touring some of the seats, and we looked down. We were right above, like, they have the VIP East lounge, I think, and we were right outside of it, looking at the seats right on the outside of it. And as we look down in front of us, we see Jorge Mas and David Beckham just walking by
Oh,
themselves,
wow.
like touring some of the seats. And then we went around the stadium and then caught up with them again. They were like 10 feet just talking like next to us. So it was nice to see them. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I haven't gone to the stadium yet as far as watching a game. I probably going to be at the next game, so I'm excited about that. But it's an awesome week. I'm happy to be here.
Love that. Yeah, I agree that the stadium is awesome, and I'm excited to go back. I'm actually going with my friend to the Orlando City game, and we're just going, like, sitting in the regular seats, and so I'm really excited to
That's gonna
experience
be. Did
that.
you get tickets already, or are you gonna get
Yeah, yeah,
tickets?
yeah. Yeah, we got tickets.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty sick. Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do as far as like getting there because number one, I don't want to pay
Thinking
$50
the
for
same thing.
parking. I also don't want to be from at least from what I've heard, the parking situation is crazy. Like if you get into the parking garage, I heard that they let out, like, number one, there's just an insane crowd of people that walk across where you would be coming out of the garage. So they stop you for like 10, 15
Yeah,
minutes while they let people cross. And then the amount of people trying to get out, it's just a nightmare. So I'm trying to figure out how to take the metro rail
yeah.
to there, like going to Dayland Station maybe or something like that. I don't know. It's just because I also
It's
don't
so
want to
funny,
pay
I was thinking the
$40
same
for
thing.
Uber. It's $40 Uber there, $40 back, and if you get out, it's
Yeah,
gonna
but where
miss
do they
this
pick you
time
up?
in
That was
Uber.
gonna be my question.
Exactly. No, yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. It's funny though, because it's so much closer to me now. It's about 40 minutes closer than the Fort Lauderdale Stadium, but I'm still trying to figure out how the hell to get there, which is pretty funny.
It's gonna be gnarly. Yeah, I mean, honestly, leaving the stadium after the first game was gnarly, and I had stayed for an hour after the game in going to the press conference and everything, and it still
You
took me
still
an
had
hour to get
trouble?
out.
That's nuts. Even that, because yeah, obviously you stay for the post game stuff, and even after that, you
Yeah,
still had issues. That's nuts.
but it was the opening game, so who knows? I mean, I think they're probably still the security and everything was figuring out. Like, I think it's one thing to practice and prep, but another thing when you actually have, like, 25,000 people trying to leave at the same time, like, logistically, that's gotta be difficult, so I'll give them a
Especially
couple of
still trying to
chances.
figure everything out with it being new and all that. By the way, do you drink tea? I drink tea now. I don't know if
Oh,
maybe
really? I do drink
maybe it's
tea.
an aging
Now what does
thing.
that mug say? Does that say
That
Washington,
mug,
DC?
it's a Starbucks mug from Washington D.C. Yeah,
That's so
I
funny, I
drink
was
tea.
in Washington, DC this past weekend.
Oh, were you?
Cool. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
there, I was at a friend's
Oh, that's right.
graduation.
You did tell me Federal
Yeah,
City
and it was
and then
awesome. Nice mug. The
Washington
weather was
D.C.
amazing, like, it was really, really awesome, and I got to walk around, and yeah, it was cool. It was a good
They
trip.
say
So
it's
I was
beautiful. Like I honestly do want to go. I can't believe. I mean, I'm getting, I'm past 30 years old. I'm not gonna say exactly because then you guys are gonna make fun of me and call me old, but I I can't believe I haven't been to our nation's capital yet. That's crazy. I really
ever?
need to go. Look, I don't know why. I don't know if this was a dream, but I feel like I went when I was a kid for
I
my
went in a
cousin.
program in high school.
Yeah, I think I went when I was like a really young kid because my cousin was a Marine and he had a graduation.
Oh,
So in
wow.
my mind, I think I went there, but I'm not sure. But I mean, that doesn't count. I want to go, and I heard that the food is great. Also, a lot of cool museums and things
Oh
to do.
my
So
god, I ate, like, we went we went to this Italian went to these amazing places, like, we were just, like, going in, but it was great. Anyways, not to get distracted. I feel like we've already been distracted by, like, 5 different topics in this first 5 minutes. Gotta say hello, aloha friends, how we doing?
What's
Uh,
up?
and this comment, Ash, I'm gonna get to it because I don't wanna spoil the episode, but yeah, we're gonna be talking a lot about, the
Baides.
game. All that exciting. Oh, what's up from Argentina? Hola. Hola, hola. It's funny, actually, I had 3 times in DC where I had to speak Spanish because the people I was talking to or that was helping us, only spoke Spanish, and so it was just funny. I'm like, I speak more Spanish here than I do in Miami.
Uh, um, what's it called? Baides, dude. What happened with River? I watched the Super Clásico, River Boca. I always go for River all my life. I've gone for River.
Mhm.
I'm not a fan of Boca, but Boca won 1-0. And they played in El Monumental in
It was
River's
in front of the
stadium.
River Plate crowd, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. No, it was
Crazy.
I thought it was a good game. It was a crazy game, but it sucks. Because I like River more than Boca. Even though I did go to the 2 Club World Cup games where Boca played Bayern and Boca played who else? Bayern and Benfica. So I went to those games. That was pretty cool. But yeah, no comment. I understand. I watched the whole game. I couldn't believe it. I was, but
That's on my bucket list to go to
100%.
to
Along with a
that.
Champions League game, a clásico, like Barça Real Madrid, bucket list for sure is a River Boca, 100%.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it looks, like, amazing, the atmosphere, like, something that's unbelievable. So, yeah, well, we hopefully one day we can go and we can say it's for our work and, make it a
I
write-off.
wonder if maybe we can apply 5 reasons with us with the network. Maybe we can go and watch it. That'd be sick.
That'd be so sick. Oh my god, that's a dream. But I saying it should be a penalty. Well, that's how the cookie crumbles. We've seen it before. Speaking of penalties, though, what a perfect transition because one of the goals we scored in this game this past weekend against Colorado was a penalty. But overall, as Gian writes here, the Mile High Heist. Inter Miami win 3-2 in what was a very back and forth, exciting game in front of a full house, 70,000 plus people at it's not called Mile High Stadium anymore. I don't know, the Denver Broncos stadium that looked absolutely amazing. 75,824 people, the second largest crowd in MLS history, was the first largest the LAFC game in the beginning of the season. It may have been. But Messi bringing crowds everywhere he goes. We say it all the time. The Messi effect is so real. Almost 3 years later, right? July 2023 is when he signed. Almost 3 years later, and everything I see and what I think is like, "Wow, what an amazing sportsman and play that we're getting to see," and he keeps playing at such a high level, scores a brace, which we'll get into, but it's a great product and people getting to experience it. His first time in Colorado, first time MLS or Inter Miami played in Colorado. The atmosphere was rocking and it was awesome. Like, you know what I mean? It just every weekend I'm thinking to myself, "Wow, the product is getting better and better, and it's really a joy to watch."
It is. I thought it was a good win for Inter Miami, especially after all the craziness that's gone on with Macherano coming out and
Mm.
being a surprise. A lot of some of the players are being interviewed, and I think they were surprised themselves. Like they didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Some of us thought that it was coming, and we didn't know when. We didn't think it. I mean, a lot of us didn't even think it'd be like this quickly, but a lot of us knew that
Or even the
kind
season.
of, yeah, like we knew that things weren't going perfect with Macherano, and that was definitely something that could be on the playing field, but we just didn't see it that soon, and a lot of these guys were blindsided too, and it's not just changing a coach for them; it's changing a coach and the whole coaching staff. Like, the one guy that survived through all these coaching regimes, Javier Morales,
Yeah, I know.
was sacked too. I mean, he made
Crazy.
it all the way to that, through a few different coaches, and even he did. And so for them, I think that was a bit it's difficult, I think, as a player to transition and get your head on straight, having gone through that. So I think for them to go into a stadium that brings with it not only the home field advantage of the crowd, but also the home field advantage of being that high
Altitude.
up. And
Yeah.
it's a serious thing. That was definitely a concern the players were talking about in the pre-pressers about how they wanted to, they saw that as a challenge. And but let's start with the lineup. I thought it was an interesting lineup. Hoyos, new coach, comes in and tries to kind of put his own fingerprint on the team. And a few things that right off the bat were, number one, Mura on the left instead of on the right. I thought that was interesting. I thought it
Noah
was going to be
Allen being
Noah Allen.
benched. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. I thought that was going to be it. Especially with Reguilon again injured. I don't know what it is with Inter Miami and going after players that have injury history. I mean, I think that you would think a lesson learned, right? It's just injury after injury, and
You would
he didn't
think.
play what, for like a year, was it, Ash, before he came here because
Yeah.
of injuries? Yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, it's you're not surprised. It's unfortunate, but instead of Noah Allen sits on the bench this time, and Mura plays on the left instead of the right, and then on the right we have Lujan, who typically slots in at
Crazy.
center back. So he was trying a few different things there. We'll talk about it, but it didn't seem to work very well. But then the Paul and Yannick Bright in the midfield, that's you know basically been the same across the board. Those are your two best midfielders. Uh, Silvetti on the right, again switching players and putting on different sides, plays them on the right instead of the left. I didn't like it. I think Silvetti didn't look good, didn't look comfortable on that right hand side as he usually does on that left. And then Berterame up front. But before we get into the game, how did you feel about that lineup?
Yeah, it was interesting. Some of it took me by surprise. I think it didn't I mean, it surprised me a little about, Mura and Noah Allen not playing. I saw that there could be a potential because in my opinion, although I think he's grown a lot and I
Noah
value
Allen and
him,
Frey, you mean, right?
uh,
Noah Allen and Frey.
yeah. What
Didn't.
did I say?
Yeah. Mura. The
Oh, n
Mura played on
no,
the
I meant Noah Allen. Well, Noah Allen not playing, comma, and Mura playing, like, that took me by
Oh, okay.
surprise. But yeah, no, like, for Noah Allen,
And Frey not on the right, which was weird. Instead of Lujan went in instead of having Frey on that right hand side.
that is what really surprised me because it didn't necessarily surprise me that Noah Allen was taken off because I think, again, he's been great and he's grown so much and he is a really good solid player, but I don't think it's perfectly worked out yet on the left, replacing Jordi Alba and figuring that out. And I was thinking, like I think that Mikael, I think that Maxi Falcon have been rock solid and good this season. And I thought, if you bring in Ian Frey, if you move maybe Mikael a little bit to left back, like you could have gotten away with doing a lineup that kind of had Ian Frey, Falcon, and Mikael as your sort of like back three, quote unquote, and then kind of building out from that. Um and even, Mura, if you did it and you made Ian Frey a right center back, like I could have seen that even happening. But having Mura on the left and Noah Allen not playing, that I did not see. And Luhan, when he had to come into games a couple times this season, I think he's been much better than last season. Last season, I thought he was definitely a little spacey, a little not, super trustworthy. I think he's actually been better and more consistent this season.
Yeah,
But it wasn't
that's
what
been
I
the
expected.
consensus. That's been the consensus around this. What you just said, that Lujan has looked significantly better than last season, and he's played well in the minutes that he's gotten. I still do think that him over Ian Frey on that right hand side, especially if you're
100%.
going to move Murat to the left, was kind of weird too. So whatever, it's a little bit off. But look, if we look at kind of the bright spots, especially in that first half, Inter Miami doesn't go down early, which is something that we've had concerns over them
Yeah.
going down early right off of the bat, and then having to change their play style, having to change their tactics. Macherano, when he was on the team, having to make changes that maybe he didn't want to make simply because he was having to react to how the match went along, and having to
Yeah.
play from behind. So I thought that this game, I really liked that Inter Miami got on the board right off the bat. First goal coming with a Messi penalty at minute 18, which actually comes from a really good pressing action by
Mhm.
Inter Miami
Got
as
it right.
Colorado was trying to come out. Yeah, you had Berterame up high pressing with De Paul right behind. Messi, I believe, was on the right, and then Yannick Bright helping. So it looked like a diamond between those four.
Yeah,
as they were pressing, and then that caused some issues in the back. Yannick Bright steals the ball, gets fouled in the box. So I thought that that was a really good team effort as far as probably some of the best pressing, in my opinion, that we've
agreed.
seen so far this season. So I thought it was really great to see that. And then obviously Messi goes and scores the penalty very easily and does a great job there. So we're up 1-0, 18th minute. You know, between the 18th minute and the next goal for Inter Miami, I thought that there were a lot of dangerous plays from
Mhm.
Colorado's side. It could have easily changed the game. I think that before
Yep,
Berterame scored later on, I think the game could have easily been either 1-1 or 2-1 in favor of Colorado. We
I
saw
agree.
that Inter Miami's defense continues to be very fragile. And Ash, I don't know if you noticed this, but um, I think that one of the issues is their number 9 was playing a bit back and pulling our center backs, pulling Mikael, pulling Falcon deep, and leaving spaces in between so that their other strikers, their other attackers can run in, and that happened a lot where they were leaving a lot of space and having to run in and behind, like they were trying to our defense had to track back, and they were always a pace behind because they were live a big hole in the middle.
Yeah.
And that happened quite a few times. And again, they could have scored on us, but luckily they didn't. And then
Their number
Berterame,
9 is very good.
yeah,
I
their
will
number
agree.
9 is good. He's good, and he knows what to do. Again, he would just kind of play a little bit back. That way, he would pull our defense higher up, like a high line kind of, and that would just leave so much space in the back. And we know that Mikael and Falcon, um, they don't deal well with speed. But Berterame scores minute 45 plus 5th minute in additional time. He scores off of what I think is probably one of the best, I'll say one of the best team plays we've seen this season. So we go to some of the best pressing. Now we go to some of the best team play because we actually saw them combine and look like they were trying to do something intentional where sometimes they
Mhm.
look like chickens with their heads cut off. It was Messi with the ball at his feet. The ball runs in behind 2 players. Messi plays the ball to the ball. The ball opens up wide to who was on that right side, Silvetti. Silvetti gets
Savetti.
the ball, places a center into Berterame, who jumps high as heck, basically rides the
So much
shoulders of the
power,
defender
yeah.
and heads it in. And that was beautiful. We'll talk about it in a minute, but 2 goals uh, in his back-to-back games. I thought that was great to go up 2-0 into the halftime. So, what do you think about that first half?
100%. No, I mean, we have it here, 15 million dollar man finds his feet. I mean, Bertarame, the fact that the goals he's finally getting, he looks so dangerous. Like, I think it's great. I think it's what we're wanting to see. It took a little while, but like in these past 2 matches, I'm like, that's a striker. That's a striker who's scoring. That header was a striker's finish. That's a difficult thing to do, getting that high up, putting that much power, and having Zach Steffen, who's, a goalie who's US men's national team goalie. I mean, looked like he was 10 seconds late jumping for that because there was just so much power and precision in that header. I think it's super, super good to see. Exactly what we need. And then, Messi, obviously, will the penalty hasn't had Inter Miami haven't had many. I think the number came out, it was only, like, the 4th or 5th penalty, something like that, outside of, like, the Leagues Cup and all that stuff. Um, Inter Miami don't draw a lot of penalties, and so seeing him take it cool as can be, and then, man, that 79th minute goal, let's talk about that for a second because, I mean, 7 goals, by the way, tied for leading the MLS in goals, and I mean, he just gets better and better every week. It's crazy to see. But let's talk about that goal in the 79th minute because that was a goal where I was like, "Oh, yeah, Lionel Messi." Right, 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 right.
All right, so let's talk about that goal, but let's talk about what led to that moment because I think it's important so that we understand what how much that goal meant to the game overall. So Inter
Mhm.
Miami 2-0 coming out of the half, great going up, and I don't know how you felt, but I was like, okay, sigh of relief. Wow, this Hoyos
Relief.
thing is working, even though it doesn't look good on the field. I mean, you're 2-0 at the half. This team looks like they're gonna, it's gonna be an easy win for Inter Miami. And then right out of the half, minute 58, Navarro, their number 9, scores for Inter Miami, basically gets the ball at half field. Colorado touches quick 1-2 passes and gets him in the open field and open space. Navarro, again, almost from the halfway line, He dribbles the entire way. He meets up with Mikael right outside of the right
Yep.
outside the area, and he absolutely with a nice little jerk movement to the he I think he phantoms like to the left and then cuts
It goes
right and
right.
leaves
Yeah.
Mikael planted, absolutely planted, and gets a wide open shot against DSC. And look, I'll say this, and here's the comment: DSC has allowed more goals than he has saves. I don't care how the defense in front of him is in front of him; he can't stop anything, anyways. And his distribution is booting it into the moon 25 times. Rocco, that's funny. But look, yes, we'll talk. We can talk about Rocco, but I mean, one-on-one, wide open net. There's very little Rocco can do there, and I think Navarro makes it 1-0. Then Yapi, minute 62, scores the second one
But it was
for
between the legs.
yeah, it was between the legs. So it's funny, like two different stories, right? Like
That was a tough
one v
one.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you gonna do? But the second one, that was definitely not a great attempt at a save
Yeah.
by Dane St. Clair. So I agree there with you as far as the DSC comment is concerned. But then, as you were saying, Ash, the knight in shining armor, the prince everybody's waiting for. Um, he scores minute 79. Messi with a just absolutely beautiful goal. It looked like the typical Barcelona goal. He's coming up the right wing. He cuts in left, and he needs what, like a millimeter of
Yeah.
space. Ash,
Crazy.
like
Crazy.
it's just where does the space come from? It didn't. I'm like, how did he have the time? Where was the space for that ball to go? Just a beautifully placed goal to the to the back post. Exceptional,
It was
exceptional. Makes
crazy,
it 3-2.
actually. When I was watching it, in the moment, I thought, "Wow, he like, the defender gave him too much space. He's gonna" like, in that millisecond, I'm like, "Too much space. He's gonna get a shot off." The goal was amazing, and then I see the replay, and I'm like, "Wait a second. He had no space." I thought he had more space in the moment because the way the shot came off and the fact that it looked like he had a second to do it. It was so much less than normal, and the fact that he created that, like, millimeter to get the shot off and the precision of it, it was amazing. I think the crowd in, Colorado was bumping, like, the energy was good, when Colorado got those 2 goals, like you said, after, into the second half, you felt the momentum shifting a little. I mean, everyone, the majority of them were there to see Messi, of course, but then when you're there, with your home team, you start kinda, like, joshing and going back and forth, and, the energy and the tension was kind of rising, and then you get that crazy goal and the crowd goes wild, and I just am thinking, like, crazy, crazy, like, on one end, we're seeing Berterame and Messi and even Silvetti creating moments, scoring, doing what we wanna do. Midfield, I think, we'll talk about Yannick Bright in a second, but him and DePaul, I think, have been overall pretty solid. Defense and goalkeeping, which is what we're talking about now, man, that's kind of struggled, and we can talk about we can talk about Dane St. Clair, we can talk about the defense overall. Um, I don't know, to me, it just didn't, it felt
Yeah,
it felt difficult.
I mean, yeah, let's not get it twisted either. Like it was okay, it was a 3-2 win, and I think it was a good win in the sense of given the situation and all
And
the
that we won.
surrounding
Yeah.
storylines. I mean,
Yep.
it was not easy. It's an away from home game in the altitude. That's already tough. Then you give it that storyline of a new coach and an entire coaching staff gone overnight. I think that weighs on players, and it's
Yeah.
something that it has to be taken into account. So from that point of view, I think it was an impressive win. From a product on the field point of view and the actual play on the field, I don't think it was impressive in the least. I
Mm.
think that this team continues to struggle. We see it from the defense, just does not look good. We see it from the goalkeeping, the guy that was brought in because of how well
Best
he had
goalkeeper
done
of the
last
year.
season.
Yep.
That didn't look good. And even the attack. I mean, other than Messi's the bright spot, and then Berterame obviously scoring again. I mean, that's great, but Silvetti didn't look that good. And again, given he was I think he was put on the wrong side of the field. Like that doesn't. I don't understand the decision making there. So Telasco looked okay. um De Paul. I mean, what is going on with De Paul? One moment he looked like an all-star, then he doesn't look like an
Yeah, he's
all-star.
kinda gotten
He
yeah.
is he still dealing with his injury? Is he partying too much? Is he partying too much? Is he filming too many music videos? Is what's going on with De Paul? Like we have to. I think that that's something that's needs to be figured out quick because for this team to be successful, I don't think it's just Messi. They need De
Yeah,
Paul. They need it big time. I mean, he's the other big money guy, the other guy that they're depending on. The El Motorcito, they call him the motor for a reason, and that's one of the reasons why they brought him in. So there's still a lot left, I think, for this team that you wanting to see from this team. But at the end of the day, it's a win, right? And hopefully they can continue to build on this. And I think we're going to talk about Hoyos. I did want to say a few more things, but I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. So, but uh, Inter Miami wins, and that's what's important.
agreed. Yeah, we're getting a lot of comments about Dane St. Clair. I think it's very fair to say he's been a so far disappointing in the start of the season, compared to what we thought we were gonna be, thought he was good shot stopper. In the
Ash,
last few seasons I've seen him, I thought he's been really solid.
yeah,
Yeah.
back me up on this. Do you remember? I think it was it was either the episode that we were doing where and it was a live episode where the news broke about DSC. I don't know if it was that episode or the next one
Yeah.
that we were actually talking about it a little more. Do you remember when I went into? I mean, I went into the records and the stats
Mhm.
between um Rios No and between DSC, and I told you I know that he was voted the best goalkeeper. I know this. And it's not going to be for no reason. But when I looked at the stats, I'm like, this guy led in an insane amount of goals. Like,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
and you look at Rocco's stats looked better. Rocco
Yeah.
had better stats. He was an MLS Cup winning goalkeeper, starting goalkeeper. When you look at the two on paper, I mean, and take away the voting, I mean, for me, it was. I thought I didn't understand why they were bringing in DSC other than again him being voted best keeper. So I'm not going to say that I told you so, but I'm going to say that I think that it was something that was noticed at the beginning. It was like, okay, right, but
Yeah.
Rios Nova isn't some scrub. He's a good goalkeeper. So we'll have to see. Sometimes keepers need to get benched, honestly, and earn their way back in.
Yeah, I mean, it surprised me because I do remember having seen him a few times in the last few years, when he's played for Canada as well, getting games against the US men's national team, and I thought he was really good. And so it has surprised me that it's been a drop off, to start the season, and hopefully he'll get better. We'll have to see. But you said it before. I think it's important that we before we get to Hoyos' debut, um, it's something that I think was difficult to see and that is gonna make a difference that was really not on Hoyos is, Yannick Wright getting a red card. 87th minute, didn't we kind of in real time, I'd even remember the commentators had said, like, "Wow, Yannick Wright has been the bright spot in the game." He had played such a great game, obviously drew the penalty, but was really everywhere, had a great performance like he has been having, and then we see he gets a straight red card in the 87th minute, and I think we were all like, "What happened? Was there a little tussle?" It's come out now that he, used a racial slur and abusive language, and we're still kinda waiting to see all that the fallout from it, but I will say it really took me by surprise, and it's disappointing because he's really such a bright spot on the team that, yeah, I mean, do you think it's gonna affect the team moving forward? What is your kinda your opinion on it?
So it is reported that he used a racial slur, right?
Mhm.
But I'll say this:
Yeah.
the situation, context, the there are other things that need to be taken into consideration in this whole situation with Yannick Bright. The word that he supposedly used was the N word, not with the hard R, with the A at the end. We know that Yannick Bright is black, right? And
Yeah.
that in that community, it's a word that's often used between each other and sometimes in insults. And what I'll say is, if that is the case and that is being reported accurately, you can't suspend him or give him a red card for a racial slur, because it is not a racial slur. It's not, given the context of it. And
Mhm.
if the referees think that it is a racial slur, I recommend a cultural training from the MLS for the referees so they can understand these sorts of things. And I recommend that they go and watch a couple of NBA games,
Mhm.
because if they go to an NBA game with
Yeah.
their red card in their pocket, they'll give every single one. We'll end up with a 0 versus 0 for the second half of an NBA game. And that's how it is. I mean, if they want to go and say, that it was, you know, and this per them, offensive, insulting, and abusive language, okay, you know, I mean, I think it's soft anyways. The things that are said to each other on the field, however you may feel about it, it happens. But a racial slur, I'm sorry, it was not a racial slur. Given the context, given who said it, to who it was, that was not what it is, and I think that's unfair. Now, if you just want to talk about, he said what he said previously to that word, that's fine. If you think it's abusive and that, I don't have a problem. But the other part, it's not. And let's not pretend he said something a racial slur. He said anything remotely racist. Now, what sucks about the whole situation is that he's not going to be he's missing next game, and that's important. He's an important player, right? We're still have to see if he's going to be handed down anything else by the disciplinary committee. Hopefully not. I think that I've seen two conflicting reports, so I'm not sure which is true. That the disciplinary committee came out today and spoke about these things, and his issue wasn't mentioned, which could be a good sign. And then I saw some reporting that there's going to be an announcement on Wednesday, so tomorrow. So we'll
Yeah.
have to see. I don't know which is accurate or not, but it's just
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, I honestly I agree with you. We'll have to see. I mean, like, I understand you don't want, in general, like, this kind of intense abusive language of the players to each other, like, just, the heatedness that you see sometimes. It seems like a pretty strong, like, reaction and statement. I would also say, what about all of the things that in Spanish the players are saying to each other that, this ref didn't understand or wouldn't understand, and then, you're kinda just zeroing in on one thing, heat of the moment competition, like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's tricky, like, no doubt, it's tricky and it's not a good
but
problem to have,
Tony,
but,
I think
it's
it's the
hard.
eye test. Honestly, it's the eye test. I mean, we're not going to do a 23andMe here and draw blood samples to see, how, if is he 80% Italian and 20%, I don't know, from wherever else. Like, I think it's the eye test. It's common sense. I mean, if you look at him, he's Italian, and you can assume things, So, but at the end of the day, I think we know enough about Yannick Bright, right? As just fans.
Yeah.
Also Ash and I, as people that report on him and go to the games and interview the players, to know that that's not what was happening there. And
And it's
for
shining a
that to
bad light
be
on
the
him that's
root,
unnecessary.
yeah,
Agreed,
yeah.
agreed. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, but yeah, it's, you know, it seemed in the moment harsh, it seems a little contextually, harsh and, the moment
Go to a
happened,
game
it
in South
happened.
America, and the things that these guys say to each
Well,
other, I
all
mean, or
athletes
even
say things to each other in the heat of the moment, like, it's so normal, like, if Noah Allen said that, okay, problem. Like, if there's certain things, but, like, you gotta have context and, like, common sense, right?
yeah,
So, we'll have to wait and see, but then let's switch gears here because, that's something that happened on the field. We talked a little bit about what was happening on the field. Let's talk about what was happening in the coach's box. So, obviously, Hoyos makes his debut after being announced the interim. Yeah, I saw the right. It's 100% interim coach who now we know is going to be there until at least the end of the season. Um, Debuts with a win, and like we said, a very surprising and aggressive lineup maybe that we didn't see coming. What are your overall thoughts of his first game and what we can hopefully expect to see?
Well, we know that he comes with a vast um, resume, right?
Yeah.
Coached in Argentina, Mexico, Chile, Bolivia, the Bolivian national team, Greece, Cyprus. The last time he coached was against Oriente Petrolero in Bolivia 3 years ago. So he's got a ton of coaching experience. Then he obviously known as the father, football father of Messi. So the connection is there. He was in the front office, and now he's here coaching, and they wiped out the entire coaching staff. And the
Crazy.
coaches that he brought on were actually with the team already. They were just in different. They had different duties, and I think one was like helped the goalies, another helped with I don't know what or whatever. But they're not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
completely new. They're already part of the team. Um, and I thought, for a first time, I didn't quite understand what he was trying to do. But again, it was his first game, and usually, what coaches will do is they come in first game where they're actually coaching, and they try to tinker. They try to put their own recipe, their own sauce on there. And
Yeah.
obviously, that's what he tried to do. Putting Muda on that left, we were talking about it. Putting Lujan on the right, and having Noah Allen and Frey on the bench. Having Silvetti on the right, we know
Yeah.
that Allende is still kind of coming back from an injury, I think it is. So, but still
Mhm.
playing Silvetti on the right. Um, we saw his fingerprints on that, and I thought it didn't work. But again, he has to try new things. I think if you're a coach and you're coming into a team that doesn't look good, you can't just go in with the status quo and do the exact same thing that the previous coach was doing, right? So I think that would have been, to me, even though I didn't like what he did, I would have been more worried if we see how exact same thing that Macherano did,
Right.
right? That would have been more worrying. So he's still trying to figure
More
things out.
so.
I think that what I did like is the team looked a bit more aggressive on attack. I think that looked better. What was interesting was the defense. I thought that defense looked even more out of place than they did with under Macherano, so that wasn't a good thing. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he gets the win. I think that what the main talking point here with Hoyos is he an interim manager? How long is he going to be here? Is he going to be here until the World Cup? And then after the World Cup, there may be some coaches available after the World Cup. There may
Yeah.
be some
Well, I
coaches.
saw something that said today that they think he's gonna just sorry to interrupt, that he's gonna be there at least through the end of the season. That's what they're reporting.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Look, if he's getting results, I don't have any issue with Hoyos being here the rest of the season at all. I mean, if the team
Yeah.
is winning and the team is looking good, but come World Cup, if the team isn't looking good, and you have some coaches out there available
Yeah.
that are worth it, hey, then at that point, I think it's worth it. We talk about guys like Xavi. I know some of these sound like pipe dreams, but they're remember that Inter Miami tried to bring in Xavi previously, and they weren't able to.
Mm,
Maybe now's the time. Maybe
that would be crazy.
other coaches come up, but look, so far, first game he gets he gets his win. He's tinkering with the team. What I will say is, I don't think it should be a long leash for Hoyos. I think it should still be a short leash. I know that he's just coming in here as a coach, but we can't pretend he doesn't know these players.
Yeah.
He was part of
Yeah,
the
it's
process.
true. Makes a
He
big difference.
picked the players. He knows them like the back of his hand. So this isn't a fresh guy that just coming in to work with something that he didn't build. Hoyos built this team. So it still should be a short leash, and should be very carefully. They should watch him very carefully. And the moment that they catch sense that this isn't going to work out, they need to pivot and rescue the second half of the season.
Agreed. Yeah, I was like I said, I think, or what we both said is that tactically, it didn't feel like, especially from a defensive standpoint, it didn't feel great. The personnel we saw didn't feel great. But what I did like is that he immediately tried something new. He wanted to test a new plan. He wanted to mix things up. He wanted to get the best out of the team, and that is something I think we've all felt so far this season that Mascherano wasn't bringing. That the intensity the the changes, the adaptability, the excitement, and we saw that immediately from Hoyos, and I thought that, that I liked, and he made changes when needed. He started strong. He got to win. Let's see if he'll continue, because at least it brings some excitement and it brings some personality out of the team, and that is something that we've been desperately missing.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't think Hoyos was the number one. What would you say? I think Hoyos was a urgency. It was out of urgency. It was,
Right,
and
right.
I won't go too deep into this, but we had our episode where we talked about Macherano resigning. We call it quote unquote resigning for personal reasons. We thought he
Mhm.
was fired, but the more that has come out,
Yeah.
the more news. It
Yeah.
seems like he may have already known about his impending doom and the possibilities of him
Yeah.
getting sacked. Plus, it looks like there was inner turmoil on the pitch
Yep.
between him and Suarez, because Suarez, was benched, and De Paul wasn't seeing eye to eye with him, and there were some things that led up that there was kind of some locker room duress that
Yeah.
week of, and he was just like, you know what,
I'm
I'm
out.
not getting
Yeah.
the results. I'm not getting the results. The team doesn't look like it's playing well. I got knocked out of Champions Cup, and now I lost the locker room. He's like, I'm gonna lose my job, because that's basically what comes next, right?
Yeah.
After all those four things. So it
Right.
looks like he decided to step away, and maybe somebody told him, a little birdie told him, "Hey, look, they're gonna let you go." So
Yeah. Yeah.
he decided to do that. So I think that either way, that caught the timing, probably caught the team off guard. And Hoyos was more of a, oh damn, like what do? We don't have a coach ready. Hoyos has coaching experience. He's got the connection with Messi. Easy plug in
Relationships
until we
matter.
figure out who we're gonna bring in. So that's why I think Hoyos, unless Hoyos brings in some crazy results, then they're gonna bring in the coach, which is the plan now. I think the plan is to bring in a new coach.
Yeah.
Hoyos getting good results may change that. We'll have to see.
It's fluid. The situation is fluid now. I think, if you get wins and you get the energy up, I think this is also true. You wanna see a higher quality of play, more attacking, more exciting in this new stadium. I think we're gonna get that with Hoyos right now, and we'll see, right? We'll see, and we'll start to see immediately, in his second game in charge, which is tomorrow, where Inter Miami visit, Real Salt Lake to play in a midweek away game. Again, more altitude. Um, but yeah, going to play a team that's very in form right now in Real Salt Lake, and I think it'll be a difficult one, right? This past weekend was difficult. I think this one's gonna probably feel even a little bit more difficult.
It is another tough game. Given the situation, given away from home, given the injuries. I mean, so Miami is plagued with injuries, plus obviously the suspension of Yannick Bright. But
Yeah.
yeah, the game tomorrow, 9:30 at America's First Field in Sandy, Utah. When I saw Sandy, I thought that's maybe what they called, like maybe it was the nickname of the stadium,
Mm.
but it's actually the
It's not,
city.
but that's the city. Yeah.
It's Sandy, yeah, Sandy, Utah. Um, so yeah, it's a quick
Diego
turnaround.
Luna.
Miami just played on Saturday in altitude, and that in Spanish they say te desgasta. In English, it means it just tires the crap out of you playing in that
Yeah. Yeah.
altitude. So it's a crazy quick turnaround for them. But Miami right now, second in the East, 4-1-3, 15 points. They're 1 point behind Nashville, who's currently in first, and then RSL is red hot. They're tied in fifth, tied for fifth right now in the West with 16 points. But RSL is unbeaten in 6, and they're playing at home, and they're looking for their fifth straight win at home. So that's they definitely have a lot going for them
Mhm.
from that concern. They just beat San Diego 4-2 on the weekend, and Diego Luna scored back-to-back games. He's just absolutely balling as well. So it's
I do like
no,
Diego Luna.
huh? You feel
I
like
like
Diego Luna?
Diego Luna,
Oh, you like
especially
Diego
after
Luna?
seeing what he did in the Gold Cup last year, like, I think he's really good, exciting, plays with his heart.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a tough matchup. I mean, they have Diego Luna and we have Berterame. Both guys scored back-to-back goals. So, but they also have a rookie striker, Sergi Solans. So he has 5 goals in his last 7 games. So
Pretty impressive.
they're doing really, really good. So I think it's gonna be a rough one. I don't know if we're gonna how we're gonna come out of this one. It's gonna if we're gonna be able to survive this one. It'll be tough again because of the quick turnaround and the fact that we talk about the missing pieces that we have, the injuries. Yannick Bright suspended, Reguilon, to no one's surprise, injured, unfortunately. David Ayala, who would be the guy that probably would have slotted in for
Yeah.
Yannick Bright for that double pivot with Rodrigo de Paul, unfortunately injured as well. So it might be like a David Ruiz situation where
I was gonna
David
say,
Ruiz
what do you think the midfield's gonna look like then?
yeah,
Probably
it'll
David Ruiz.
probably be David Ruiz alongside De Paul, and then you're gonna have Velasco probably with well, Silvetti is injured too now, from
The
what
hamstring,
I've
yeah.
seen. So now who the hell is gonna play up there? I mean, is
I think
Pinter
it's gonna
gonna
be
make
Segovia Allende.
if I is Allende ready to come back? We'll have to see. Just saw on Twitter Bright getting 1 game ban. Okay, so is that the 1 game for the red, or is it a 1 game in addition to the red? Um,
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
so
He's definitely not playing tomorrow. That is, I think, like, cemented. It'll be interesting to see what the team does. I'm excited to see, and
they've
then,
only played once too. They've only played once. They played in 2024 at Chase Stadium. They beat us to wait. No, we won 2-0. Diego Gomez and Robert Taylor scored that game. So we'll see.
I
We'll
was
have
thinking
to see.
about
But
Robert Taylor recently. Miss him.
yes, yes. I always thought Robert Taylor was so good. I do miss him. He was really good on that left side. And for some reason he didn't get as many minutes as I felt like he deserved. But he was a baller on that left side.
Do you think they would
But
ever
yeah,
do, like, a 4-4-2 with, Suarez and Bertarame starting together?
not starting, but we've seen that. We've seen Allende,
Yeah,
Silvetti, Berterame, Suarez, and Messi all on the pitch at the same time
yeah,
as one of those moments where Macherano was all weapons go, like
yeah.
but as a starting, I mean, God, I hope not, honestly.
That'd be
I don't
crazy, right?
I just don't think Messi and Berterame work together on the field from a defense standpoint. Like anytime we're attacking, okay. But anytime we don't have the ball, you don't want Messi and Suarez on the field because you got 2 guys that don't run. So it's that much harder.
I do wonder. This is because I'm actually just looking right now at the players in the team because I was kind of thinking like, what if I think didn't we see a game where Mikael was moved to the midfield for like a good 20 or 25 minutes and he did like pretty well? Do you remember that or am I misremembering?
I have the worst memory known to man. I'm actually ordered focus factor pills to see if they work, but so
Nice.
I don't remember. That may be true though. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, because I'm just curious. Yeah, I mean Ruiz, we probably see Pinter. We may see starting in the midfield. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, it's gonna be a good midweek game. I'm glad we have it. It's always fun to watch. Hopefully they can keep the streak alive. And oh, he played left back. That's right. That's right. Okay, played left back. Maybe you'll see Ian Frey play in the midfield. That would be something. I'm
Well,
curious.
that's a no. Actually, that's a great point. Great point because we've talked about it and we've
We've
seen
talked
him
about
do it.
that.
He's
Yeah.
been versatile. He's played center back, he's played right back, and he's played defensive midfielder when needed. Very seldom, obviously, so you may not remember, but he has played defensive midfielder. So, given that what we saw from Hoyos putting Lujan on
You
the
never
right,
know. Yeah.
Ian Frey may very well play alongside De Paul. So that's a good catch, Ash. Yeah, that could happen.
That'll be interesting. I'll be excited to see that.
Yeah.
But anyways, well, this was a great fun episode. As always, thank you to everyone who joined, gave their comments, great discussion. Lots of exciting things happening in Miami always. Hopefully we can keep the good vibes going, get that result. Any last thoughts?
No, except that it'll be a tough game, and hopefully, for the sake of the team, Hoyos figures this team out and then
Yeah.
continues to tinker to find the right plan. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
this
and
will be exciting to
my
see his
camera just went out,
creativity.
so we're right on time. So
Oh, perfect. Okay, well then really quickly give your score prediction.
I'm going with a tie, 2-2.
2-2. I'm going with another Inter Miami win, 3-2. Same score as Colorado. I think we're gonna see a lot of goal scoring. We're gonna see what Oils is able to do. It'll be very interesting to see. This will be definitely a time where you get to really find your creativity as an interim coach with having to cook something up for tomorrow. But yeah, I'm excited to see. As always, make sure you are following us at Messi and Co on X, and make sure you're subscribed on YouTube at Five Reasons Football. Um, Thank you so much for joining this week of Messi and Co. I'm Ashley. That is Gian, and we will see you next time.
Thank you guys.